All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about clearing the browsing history.
Yeah.
We're going to send out, have you sent that out yet? We do have it posted on the EPIC Partner Resource Guide.
Yeah, and it should be in this pod. If not, I can add it, and I'm going to send it out in the minutes as well. I will go ahead and add this to this pod so you guys can all download it from here if you need to.
Why don't you wait until I start talking, and then you can do that.
Okay. And so what this document is this document is available on our partner page, and it'll be sent out to all of you guys. You all have access to it. But it just kind of breaks down how you're going to go through clearing your browsing history. We have heard that some of you guys are running into issues when you try to invite customers. It'll freeze up or it won't let you invite them. Anytime the computer kind of is freezing and not letting you move forward and not giving you an error message, you're going to want to try clearing your browsing history first. Usually what happens is there's a lot of repetitiveness in what we're doing in the EPIC system, and the computer will get in a loop to where it just gets confused after doing the same thing over and over and over again. So by clearing your browsing history, you're kind of breaking that loop and allowing the computer to continue to do what it's supposed to be doing. We have this document broken out. It's how you clear your browsing history for Chrome, and then down at the bottom it's for Internet Explorer. I know a lot of you guys are using more Internet Explorer than Chrome because not everybody has access to Chrome. So I was just going to go through and show you how to clear the browsing history using Internet Explorer really quick. It won't take too long. So there's two ways that you can get to where you need to go to clear your browsing history. You can either, as the instructions say, click Control-Shift-Delete, and that will pull open your browsing history box. Or you can click on the three dots in the upper right-hand corner and then click on Settings. And then you just scroll down until you find browsing history. Maybe. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to want to make sure that these four boxes right here are checked: browsing histories, cookies, and saved websites, cache data, and files, and download history. And then all you have to do is click clear, and it will take a second or two to kind of think. And then you should be able to hit Control F5. And this is just going to kind of do a hard refresh of the page and refresh everything. And then you should be able to continue what you're doing. You may have to log back in. It may log you out, so you may need to log back in. And then you should not be experiencing the continuous cycle of where it just sinks and can never move forward. Do you guys have any questions on how to clear your browsing history? And if you guys are doing this and have a question, you can always give me a call, send me an email. I can definitely walk you through it or figure out what's going on.
All right. Okay, so now one of the things we sent out an email, but with you guys having 2 holidays last week and all of that kind of good stuff, I just wanted to review the fact about the Social Security number updates that we've implemented into the system. So let me, well, Olivia, you know what? Never mind, I'll do it. Give me just a second to get my window open. So when we go to a customer now, well, let me make this bigger. When we go to invite a customer and we add somebody, and I'm going to try to add you have to add the Social Security number a second time, which should potentially allow us to have fewer Social Security number errors. And what you need to do is you need to be watching your DHS screen so that you can get that number in there correctly. And if it doesn't match, it will give you an error message that it doesn't match. And then you can go in and double check. It will not allow you to copy and paste. It will only allow you to type it in. And so that way it's going to give you a better chance at not having those errors that we find when we get to the EPIS reporting screen to try to get that match going on. So as we're finishing up, I'm going to just finish up this invite. And pick a date. Now, the other thing that can happen that's brand new is, and I know that we tested this in one of the offices just yesterday, the customer has the ability to change their last four digits if those are wrong, and it will update in the system. Additionally, if you discover that you mistyped the customer's Social Security number twice and they didn't catch it in the application, and you get to EPIS and you're entering the Social Security number and it doesn't sync, Olivia, myself, Deidre, Areli, and Lisa Sparks all have the ability to go into a customer profile, and I'll show you this. I'm logged in as an admin, and I can go into the profile, and I, Olivia, Deidre, Areli, and Lisa can go in and change the customer Social Security number. So it's not have to wait for 3 days. Now, the big challenge will be if you do not enter the Social Security number properly in EPIS. So it's very important when you get to EPIS that you type in the number, ask the customer to review it, check your system one more time before you move on from that Social Security screen, because we've done everything that we can on our part to make it so that we can get EPIC updated quickly. But EPIS may take a little bit more time and a bigger phone call that you have to make to correct that Social Security number. Additionally, we were alerted to the fact that the 2151 form, when you download it in the browser window, if you download it and look at it in the browser window, it will show the phone number for the CBO. But if you download it into the Adobe Reader, it does not show the phone number for the CBO. So we've corrected that issue as well. Now what I want to do is I want to show you what's being worked on today. And we've still got a few tweaks to do, but we will send out the instructions for this after it's done being tested. And hopefully by Monday, this is up and live in production. So under the Intake Activities tab, we have some new features that are going to be showing for you. Under the Has Not Attended Orientation, we have a new option that shows that the customer is in a voluntary area and cannot be reached. Customer can be reinvited. Customer is no longer SNAP eligible. If you select that option, the text will turn red. And then if they missed orientation, the sanction process can be started. Additionally, we removed the option to decline to participate. We have now, under attended orientation does not want to participate, we have added some additional options. We do have one that is going to be moved. This option right here wants to participate at a later date, needs to reschedule to complete the application process, and customer started the orientation process but needed to leave. That those all three will trigger a mandatory follow-up appointment that you won't have to click the button. It will automatically trigger the follow-up date. So if you click this option, it will automatically trigger the right answer here with a follow-up date. Otherwise, we do also have on here 2 reported income options that you may or may not want to schedule a follow-up appointment for those customers. If you select the customer is no longer SNAP eligible, it will turn to red. So right now, our programmer is working on these items to make sure that it is going to work the right way. And I'm going to test it this afternoon, finish up the instructions, and we will include the instructions with the follow-up minutes from this webinar. If you do want to schedule a follow-up appointment for any of the other areas, any of the other options here, you will still be able to schedule a follow-up appointment down here in the bottom section. But right now, there will be 3 items that will trigger automatic follow-up, and otherwise you can fill in the options. If the customer fills out the back of the customer intake handout form, you will still want to answer one of these items, but if you can get a better answer than I am not interested in any kind of training, try to get the better answer where the customer says what's going on. For voluntary, Marquise is asking, for voluntary elected not to participate, are we considering people who are no call, no show to be included in this category? If they're no call, no show up here, voluntary area, it could be potentially either area. Voluntary area cannot reach customer. The other option under here is they showed up but elected not to participate. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. Because in the voluntary areas, we really have no repercussions that we can put upon the customer. So that's just one of those things that we have to work on. Additionally, we noticed, I did a couple of field TA appointments yesterday with some of the CBOs, and one of the CBOs has some active participants, and they had not had a staffing scheduled. So now that the decentralization is affected, and you are now in Cook County, you do need to do mandatory staffings. And if you're not familiar with that process, please talk with your training liaison so that you can find out what's going on. We do need to try to make this easy for the CBO. So if we have all of the pods on a call and all of the feeders, whoever's going to be managing the people, and do one follow-up call with each CBO, then that way they can get it all covered in one group phone call. And if we need to set up a conference call line for you guys and help you with a webinar process so that you can be looking at the same screen at the same time, we will try to facilitate that for you as easily as we can. We need to make sure that you guys are in compliance. So if you've got a great process in place, then hopefully we can bounce around some ideas between all of you in Cook County so that we can figure this out. EPIC partner resources. I want to bring my screen up one more time here. Well, and Chris, you can get that from the enrolled dashboard. You can see who's actively participating. But first of all, we need to get a schedule in place so that the CBOs know when they need to upload their list and when they're going to be having the calls so that they can get the forms in place. So you can find all of those things by going to one of the dashboards. If you go to the enrolled dashboard, you can see, and I'm in test right now, I hope, yes I am, you can see who's enrolled with up-to-date 2151 forms. Now this is in test and we don't update those, but you can get your numbers from this enrolled dashboard so that you know who you have to be doing staffing with. All right, back to the EPIC Pilot Program Partner Guide. I just want to remind you guys that we have a full list of resources available here, that everything pretty much you need to know and the directions on how to do it with EPIC. You know, you guys know DHS better than we do, although I'm getting to know DHS pretty well these days. We have all of the directions about how to deal with things with EPIC in here. We also have, back on the main partner guide, we have the whole YouTube channel has a playlist of how-tos. So if you're new to the game or if you haven't been playing with this for a while, you can come back in here to the tutorials and play with the test program if you need to, so that you can figure out, not on a real person, about what's going on. The other issue we want to bring up, and this is more for the downstate areas, when you are looking at someone's application, and let me just go to a person here. If you're going to assign them to a program, and they haven't necessarily been assigned yet, when you're looking at the eligibility review aspect of a customer, you need to look at, let's get here down in Lincoln, you need to look at the mileage and whether or not transportation is an issue for them. So this particular program is available by bus or by driving. It's 31 miles away. If you look at the customer's application, go to the application section where it says, do they have a driver's license? Are they able to get one? Is transportation an issue for them? Because not every area in southern Illinois, and in this case we're meaning anything outside of Cook County, transportation might not be as readily available for them as it is for anybody in Cook County, because public transportation in Cook County is a little bit better. But take a look at their how can you travel to training? They can only use bus. So if they can only use bus, then you have to be cognizant of the fact that the training is actually accessible by bus and how far away it is. Because if they can't be successful in training, they may not definitely be successful in work. So we want to be very cognizant of the fact of having these people in a great training space. All right, do we have any success stories that anybody wants to share? Make sure that you share any success stories by going to the resource page We can submit a success story. It takes you straight to the place to find it, and if you look at the success story page, we actually do have 4 epic success stories on here right now. So if you want to share any of these success stories with customers that are thinking about participating but aren't quite sure, remember that the success stories are out here for them. And I appreciate your patience with us. We have our wonderful guest speaker from, and let me go to the page here to show you, from Jane Addams. Jane Addams is in Cook County. Let me get their website up here, and then let me find out where they are in the phone call here. So it was 5849. I'm sorry, 5869. Crystal, are you there? Crystal?
Hi everyone.
All right, Crystal. We have Crystal from Jane Addams Corporation, and she's going to tell you about Jane Addams programs. So let me pull Jane Addams up here. All right, go ahead, Crystal. Tell us about you.
Hi. Sure. Hi everyone. How are you doing today? I know you can't speak, so I'm just going to say that. My name is Crystal. I'm a program coordinator with Jane Addams Resource Corporation. We provide free job training and job placement in the manufacturing field. We have a couple of different programs that are available to EPIC partners. We have our first one that's a CNC Machinist Program. It's a CNC Fast-Track Program. Oh, that's perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Dee. It's the top one there. This program, our folks learn how to essentially read blueprints, learn to program a mill or a lathe machine, set up that machine, and then operate that machine in creating various parts. With this program, again, it's about 20 weeks on average, and I'll explain what I mean by on average in a moment. But with this program, they'll earn Nims Credentials, which is a National Institute of Metalworking Skills, as well as an OSHA credential. And these are recognized, industry-recognized credentials. These aren't just like a certificate of completion. These are credentials that employers are looking for when they're hiring people. So we do have a 92% placement rate for those who complete the program. And again, when I said 20 weeks on average, what I mean by on average is that we have an open enrollment, open exit program. We don't have a cohort base. It's more of a rolling base. We find that that allows for greater flexibility with our applicants and trainees. And it also allows for a more self-paced, peer-to-peer learning experience. So if someone comes into the CNC program, they pick up on it really quickly, they could complete and get a job at week 16. We're not going to keep them there for 24 weeks. That also means that if someone comes in and they're taking a little bit longer to pick up on the skills, they can stick with us until they get a job. That could be week 24, 28. It really just depends. So it allows for a lot of flexibility, allows for an individualized learning process. So CNC Fast-Track, the starting salary is a little lower in this flyer than it actually is. Our average starting salary is between the $13 and $14 an hour range. And there is quite a bit of growth opportunity in the CNC machinist field. The second program that we have here is the Welding Fast-Track Program. This program is about 14 weeks on average. Again, that open enrollment, open exit process applies here. We focus on metal inert gas welding, and this is because of our relationship with employers out in the field. We have a relationship with over 300 employers, and we ask them, what do you need in terms of welding? And they say, we need MIG welders. So that's what we focus on, but we do give them an opportunity to focus on other types of welding. With this program, they'll get an American Welding Society credential as well as an OSHA credential, again, an industry-recognized credential that is helpful for the employers when they vet people. So with this program, we have a 93% placement rate. And we have a special program that women can attend the program part-time if they do have a job. That may not be the case for some of the EPIC participants, but it is available. Average starting wage here is about $12.50 to $13.50 an hour. One of the great things about the welding program is that it is a skilled trade and they can enter into various unions, whether that be the Boilermakers or the iron workers or the pipe fitters. So there's a great career opportunity to enter into unions, which is something that is attractive to a lot of people. The third program, we're actually putting this one on hold for the time being. Our Press Break Fast-Track Program, the instructor for that program just got hired on at one of our partner companies. So we're kind of just putting things on pause a little bit until we find a replacement for him. It shouldn't take too long, but in this program, people will learn how to read blueprints, set up and operate a press brake machine, which essentially bends and shapes metal. We all have refrigerators at home. If you think about the outer casing on your refrigerator, the metal casing, that gives you an idea of what a press brake machine does. It bends and shapes the metal to fit that refrigerator. So with this one, they'll earn credentials as well. This one is a special program in that we do assist people with lower literacy and numeracy skills. For the welding and the CNC program, we require a 9th grade level test of adult basic education score, so they must score above 9th grade in math and reading. With the Press Break program, we work with people who have a 7th grade math or reading level. So it does assist people with more ADE level skills. With this program, we do find that starting wage is also in that $13.50 range. And this program has varied between 10 and 14 weeks in length on average. We do provide supportive services to all of our folks. We are a financial opportunity center, so we have financial counseling available to them. We have public benefits assessments. You guys already do all of that for your customers, which is awesome, but we do have people coming in that don't have access to that. So we assist them in enrolling in and applying to various public benefits. And these services, the financial coaching, the public benefits assessments, and the employment services, these are available to our customers for their lifetime. So in 5 years, if they want to come back and work on setting up a twin account or work on their credit score after they've had a job for a while, they can come back and do that. With our program, we have employment coaching. We have job development assistance. So when they've got the skills they need to go out and get a job, we pair them up with a job developer who serves as an advocate for them with the employer, sets up interviews, sends them leads, calls up the employer after an interview and says, hey, how did Leslie do on her interview? Leslie's great, and here are all the reasons you should hire her. So we have those services available. And we also provide transportation assistance in the form of a 7-day Venture Pass or a $25 gas card, depending on how people get to class, to help them through that process. It's a free program. There is no stipend, so we understand it's a bit of a sacrifice. And how folks can get involved is to come in through that application session that y'all assign them to. It's every Wednesday, 9 a.m. After the application session, we invite them back in for a one-on-one interview to determine suitability for the program. If they're accepted, then we start them in the program. Did I cover everything? Is there anything you want me to mention other than that?
Who are some of the employers in the area that you work with?
Oh, sure, absolutely. We work with, on the west side, we work with Friedman Seating. They actually have a contract with the CTA to create all of their seats for the buses and trains. We work on the north side. We work with companies like SNC Electric. They build transformers and things of the like. And so we have press brake operator there. We have CNC people there. We have over 300 companies throughout the region. A lot of the jobs are in the suburbs, and we're real with people when they come in and they come to the application session and the one-on-one interview. We let them know, like, listen, there will be a commute involved if you're taking CTA, but in fact, the companies that hire out in the suburbs do often pay a higher wage than those in the city. So those are just a couple of the companies, Dudek and Bach, and I could go on and on, but those are just a couple of the companies that we work with.
And something I wanted to show all of you as well is on Illinois WorkNet, we have a whole section. It's under the Explore Careers, and if you click on that, you can go to Career Wages and Trends. It takes you to an area where there's all 16 career pathways, and there's a lot of pictures here, so it's going to take it just a minute to pop up. But under manufacturing, I went and I found the welder at the bottom of the list, and there's a couple of different titles for welders, as Crystal said. Mm-hmm. If you take a look, I'm trying to get down there, and it's like it's long. Welders and solderers. It takes you to a page, and you can go up on this page, look at the wages and trends and what the employment outlook, there's all kinds of information on here. But it shows you by area of the state what the wages are for a beginning employee, somebody who's in the middle of their career, and somebody who's very experienced. So if you look at Cook County, they have, the median wage is $18 an hour. So what Crystal is telling you about the starting wage being between 12 and 16 or whatever the particular position is
those
very
are
accurate.
entry-level wages. Yeah.
Right. So as you're looking at things for your customers, if you want, and also the CBOs, I pointed this out to a couple of the CBOs in the area too, that this information is available for anybody across the state. Mm-hmm. All right, do we have any questions for Crystal? Oh. Go ahead and talk, Crystal.
Oh, sorry. I think one of the things that is beneficial, and we ask our applicants to do this at the application session, we give them homework in a way. We ask them to do research about the field, because I think a lot of people have misconceptions of what manufacturing really is these days, and it's not what it was, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So encouraging, EPIC participants and customers to do a little bit of research so they know what career path they're getting into is a wonderful thing. I mean, we ask them to do it, but even encouraging them to do it beforehand so they know what they're getting into. Some people come into welding and they don't realize, oh, this is actually a really physical job, and we're honest with them and upfront. But until they do the research themselves, they don't fully grasp that. So we encourage at every step of the process for people to be doing some research and understanding what the job entails and what the market is.
And I noticed in your pictures you've got representation of females in there. So
absolutely. We do have a Women in Manufacturing program. We provide additional supportive services to them. We are a Kellogg Foundation grant recipient for 2Gen strategies. So we provide additional support not just for the woman individually, but for her family. We're working closely with Illinois Action for Children to help people sign up for child care subsidies. We are presenting workshops on what it means to have a child with an IEP or what it means to have a child with a disability. And so we're really, and this is available to our male participants as well. So we're really elevating our supportive services to look at the whole family, not just the individual. So yeah, absolutely, women in manufacturing. In fact, a lot of our employers They ask for women welders. They say, hey, do you have any female welders? Because they really love female welders because they have a great attention to detail and they have a different skill set. So, yeah, we do have quite a number of females who come through for sure.
Aurelie asked, where do you place customers that may have one or more of these certificates? Do they have to do the program, or do you move them along through the process to place them?
If a person, are you suggesting that maybe one of your EPIC participants has a Nims credential already? Is that what?
She's typing, so give her a second.
Okay. You know,
Possibly,
yeah, okay. So we don't, we focus on the training side of things. If someone comes in, let's say someone's come in and they have a little bit of welding experience already. Maybe they don't have an AWS, but they do have, maybe they, for example, I have one client, not an EPIC participant, but a client who had a 10-week course at Dawson Tech, or a kid who's done a little bit of welding in high school. So we will enroll them and get them those certifications and then get them employment. If someone comes in with these certifications already, it's really a case-by-case basis. If there's some way that we can enhance their skills in welding in particular, if they have MIG welding but they don't have any experience in TIG or stick, we'll enroll them and give them those additional skill sets and then help them get a job. CNC, you know, again, it's a case-by-case basis depending on what credentials they have already.
Do you also put them through the MSSC certifications?
I'm not familiar with those.
There's 4 safety certifications that when we were working with the ADAM program, we tried to make sure that everybody had the MSSC.
Okay,
it might be part of your OSHA stuff.
Yeah, our OSHA is a very robust program. So it's a 10-hour general safety, but it actually takes much longer than 10 hours. People put in quite a significant amount of time on the OSHA, so I'm sure it's wrapped into that in some way.
All right, great. Any other? I see Aurelie typing. Are there any other questions for Crystal from Jane Addams Resource Group? Yes, you're correct, Aurelie. It keeps the customer engaged if you'll move them on through the process.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I don't see anybody else typing. So thank you, Crystal, for joining us today. Sorry it took us so long to get through
that's okay.
the early part of the call. We appreciate you joining us, and hopefully if you have any questions for Crystal, her contact information is at the bottom of the screen, and she can, you can get to her information from the EPIC Partner Resource page. So thank you, everybody. We won't have a webinar next week because it's the day after Thanksgiving, and everybody don't eat too much turkey because it'll make you just go to sleep, but have a great time with your friends and family. We'll get the information out about the intake activities page yet today. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.